Oh, yeah. Always love seeing that one to go back into the last game of the night as we get into this one. World Lead Academy taking on EDG. They fell out without anything, really, in that first game. See if they can maybe come back for something a little bit better. And we got to see the debut, officially, of top lane Maokai in China. Froskurinn, what do you think going to come out of game number 2?
I think it's going to be even worse than it was the first game. EDG have kind of a track record of kind of like OMG. They win the first game and then they win the second game even harder.
With a season full of splits, 1-1, it's certainly a different kind of thing, and it's probably what has separated EDG and OMG at the top of the pack right now. You look at the standings, the way that they're laid out, and these are a little bit outdated since, of course, we've had a couple games tonight. But OMG and NeroIntegrate pretty up there in the lead, and with one win at least, EDG has leapfrogged from the second place tie with World Elite. So now they're sitting at 18 points. They have a chance to claim another 2 with another victory, and that would separate them even farther out, get them closer to OMG as well. So that's certainly something they'll be going for.
Effectively, World Elite kind of shot themselves in the foot with their last weekend 3-game stretch. Because so many points were up back to back to back, they will never get another opportunity to make those points up, and now is the time. We talked about it last week, how there was zero excuse for World Elite to not be in first place with the amount of games that they were taking to the plate. It's now just an issue of if they can hold on to their 4th place spot, which, because Invictus Gaming and LGD split, should be relatively safe.
Yeah, for the time being, it certainly is. We'll see if it is definitely the case going forward, but right now, we're focused not on World Elite, but it's Academy team. See if they can grab themselves a win here. Definitely do or die time. They need to get something going. It's just looking worse and worse for them. And as we get ready to go into the next game, where do they go from here? What do they ban out? You already see Zed Nari off the table on EDG side, but Academy just banning Cassidy, nothing particular right now.
I think the Ziggs ban should come out.
Oh, you called it.
You can't let you have that champion.
No, although he did pretty well in Orianna anyways, and you just can't ban the guy out at that point. Kog'Maw taken away from Name, that's probably a safe bet, but he does play a lot of things extremely well anyways. It's not just the Kog.
It leaves the Maokai top open as well as the Gragas.
And Rammus.
Lulu also on the board. Fun fact, Rammus is called the Dragon Turtle in China.
Okay. I thought he was called Bowser.
Nope, the Dragon Turtle.
No, I got my information from a bad source apparently. They're just showing that they can just play around, have a good time. It's going to be the Lulu lock-in since that was left on the table. Could be for you, could be for Koro. It's definitely a flexible pickup. The Academy have to go blind into their first picks.
I have a feeling it's going to be Lulu, and second round pick is going to bring that Maokai.
If they lock the Gragas, it's pretty likely. Didn't seem to be too much trouble for Koro to deal with that last time.
He had Mickey pretty much on him that entire game, though. As far as anyone effectively being shut down on EDG, Koro was definitely slowed up with the 3v1 about 4 times in that top lane.
Soist on Rengar, maybe he'll have a bit better luck than last time. He didn't play particularly bad. I mean, he's definitely a big part of the team, and he goes back to Jarvan last second.
Which is curious because Soest is known as a Lee Sin player, you know, having those hyper-aggressive junglers, things like Rengar, like Kha'Zix, like Lee. And the fact that he keeps going back to kind of this utility-based, supportive style. Not that Jarvan can't be the hard carry, and he offers some fantastic things for his team, but you have to think, you're bringing a Cataclysm with a cask displacement. If you mess up the stacking of those ultimates, you effectively render Jarvan's ult completely worthless.
Yeah, it's a touchy thing. And you know who we forgot about? Braum. He's lit and left open right now. FCZF might be eyeballing him. And of course, they're thinking about if they want to go for their jungler. Instead, they go for the AD carry Tristana now in Name's hands.
Of course, since Kog'Maw's taken off the board, take the next hyper carry down. For him, that's going to be Trist. See if SMLZ, it looks like he's looking at Lucian, but I feel that he should look for more of a hyper-based carry towards Jinx, although he does favor more of this AD caster style. He is a big Draven player. Big Lucian player.
Draven is a big risk right now for him to go for, though, just because going into a Braum is a little bit rough. High risk, high reward kind of champion. Would have a better laning phase. I think he wants to settle for a happy medium ground right now, especially with UJ going to get to rock the Thresh. So the Lifesteal lane comes out.
And of course, since Maokai was not taken off the board, it is going to be that Gragas top. Expect to see that in the top lane. See what they pick up for the jungle, though.
Probably the Rengar. They've been teasing it all champs. Like, ooh, last second switch over, Dr. Mundo. I like this for Koro a lot better, actually.
I don't think it synergizes as well with his playstyle that what Maokai was able to do, but it's definitely that same style of champion. Mundo is typically the direct counter to Gragas simply because he's able to rush the Spirit Visage against Gragas due to the AP damage, and how well that synergizes with Mundo's regen passive on his ultimate, so big bonus there.
Looking to answer in the mid lane right now, Mickey. Really thinking hard about this Xerath pickup. See if he does go with it. Looks like he locks it in, yeah. We've been seeing that more and more. See if Mickey has any better luck with a heavy kiting champion. He should have a better laning phase at any rate.
I feel like this is a poor assembly of a team composition from World League Academy. Typically, when you pick up Xerath, and I know I've told you this countless times, Pyra, it's an over-the-top composition. And what you're doing is you're utilizing the range on Xerath's ultimate, typically in conjunction with Ezreal or Kog'Maw ultimate, and then, you know, like a Rengar or a Jax. And what you do is you poke, but you immediately get to that back line and just eliminate those champions back there. There's really nothing to follow that up. You do have decent dive potential from someone like Jarvan to the back line. Gragas can, you know, possibly get back there, but again, that's with a displacement as his longest range ability. And you don't have the assassination potential of that. So I feel like the Xerath pick is a bit out of whack. It's very much more a stylistic choice of a poke comp, kind of like what Nidalee and Jace would be doing for a team, because they're also bringing the Lucian and the barrel poke. We'll see if it works out for them, but I think it's a little curious.
Yeah, I feel like they could have gone... They went for something that's more in vogue in the flavor, rather than something that they could have done on a more comfort level. If Khan had gone back to, like, Aurelia, say, the backline dive would have been a little bit better. They could have gone for the Jinx pickup on the AD carry, and that would have meshed a lot better with that type of composition. So I agree with you. That would have been a lot better of a choice. We'll see, however, how this does. I try to combine way too many words when I talk. And World League Academy, hopefully they'll be able to grab something out of this, but they're up for a tough fight for it. And this game, not going to be the easiest for them to deal with. But here we are, loading onto the Rift right now. Final game of the night. World Elite Academy takes on Edward Gaming. See who prevails here. Will it be EDG, the boys in blue, as they are on the bot left side. World Elite Academy in the red trunks. And they're coming out of the gate swinging.
I'm trying to think mathematically if it's possible for World Elite Academy to make playoffs. What, we're in week 8. I believe that there's 10 weeks of LPL.
10 or 11. I need to check the schedule once in a while.
I believe it's 10 and a weekend for playoffs.
That's
playoffs are supposed to be August 24th. Hold on, because Khan running into Koro, possibly. Yeah,
we'll do the math later. It's a little bit early for that one. Khan going to get a lot of his health chunked out for the sake of a ward. Mundo file to the back of the head. Gragas Esquire wants to file a lawsuit on that one, but he's got no damage. Can he get away from the relentless pursuit? That's not Lucian. Koro just says, all right, have another briefcase.
He took that business to the face. Koro was all up in there.
Yeah, he's all work and no play. Although the tower is going to force him away for the time being. Yeah, that is just hyper-aggression. Look at how confident. Koro is just going straight back there. He should be able to get a deport out. Oh, he doesn't have his cooldown quite reset just yet. But yeah, that's just not the way you want to start a game off if you're Academy. No invades really going to happen out of this. They're just very afraid to even push forward.
Khan didn't really lose anything, though, other than his confidence and his dignity. He didn't burn a pot or anything like that.
Nope. Oh, FCZF looking to start it. Yeah, EDG, they're energized by that last performance. They say, all right, we can take the fight to here and now. And Name, he is playing a very late-game champion. Yeah, he is just so confident that he can make things happen. But SMLZ trying to make a showing of resistance here. Going to be spamming a couple of his emotes as well.
Okay. How this lane should go is in favor of SMLZ and Yushe. Again, we talk about 2 ranged champions versus a ranged and a non-ranged champion. The fact that Braum has a relatively weak level 2 through 5. He is level 1 right now, so that's a little bit scary, but should pass relatively quickly. And the trick is you want to keep the wave shoved onto Tristana because it makes it really hard for her to last hit under tower due to her explosive shot. And they're able to do this also because it is the lifesteal lane. It's so safe that if any gank ever came for them and they died, there's no excuse for that. You have Lantern, you have Relentless Pursuit, you have Flay, you have Descent, you have so many tools to walk away from that. So this should be very easy pickings for World Elite Academy in the bot lane.
It'll definitely be a big test for them. This is one of the safest it gets for them to deal with. And if they should be able to aggress on Name really easily at this level 2 juncture, but they're still hesitant to do it. And it's going to be on Soas to try and set up a big play, but you got to watch for Clear Love as well. He doesn't necessarily favor those huge early game ganks since he does like to farm for a bit, but even knowing that, you got to know if you push the lane up too hard and too far, you're going to attract some attention. And Rengar's still a threat before 6, even so. Mid lane might go a little bit easier for them. Mickey definitely been able to poke out Lulu, but not keeping up in farm.
The issue with Xerath is that he doesn't have enough mana to choose between poke, like harass versus farm. He effectively has to do both, which he has the tools on his kit. You have to think it's very much like Piercing Light, like his Q will go through the minion wave and poke you. But if he doesn't get that and he has to choose between one or the other, which is very easy, like you can just step away from the creep wave and say, you know, you either get to harass me or you get to farm the creep, so you don't get to do both. Xerath doesn't have the resource pool to keep up with someone like Lulu's poke.
True enough. And here you're going to see the engage. There comes around the side. It's Soist, and you might be in a bit of trouble as he's going to not quite accept his fate, flashing away, trying to avoid it, but not enough. Soist follows him through, and Mickey finishes off the kill for first blood 4 minutes in.
Classic MO of Soist, the fact that he's known as an early aggression jungler, has that Jarvan available for him, found the early gank to perfection, gave the first blood to his lane, so great start from World Elite Academy. Likewise, Clear Love, 2 MO in the jungle, farm and race. Yeah.
Yep, that's not going to change anytime soon, although we will be able to cover the mid lane for the time being. Whoa! Sensing danger. Name jumps away, and a minion has ended up being hooked by Yuji, so that could have been pretty bad, but so far this lane staying very safe and staying very cool in the face of danger. 29 to 29 dead even in farm, and they are playing quite confidently, even though the first blood went over to World Elite Academy.
Oh, hold up, because Soas is actually looking bottom.
Yep, this could be trouble. And the cooldown, not quite there. There goes Name, just barely getting out in time. FCZF face tanking up all the damage. Look at this, they're 2v3ing, and they're scaring away Academy. How confident are these guys, Frost?
They have a lot of safety on the composition as well between the stand behind me and the rocket jump there. Again, at level 6 when they have the Buster Shot available as well.
Sometimes shield becomes smashing door. Somebody said that once.
I can't tell from their accent, though.
You'll have to just read it in a book, maybe. Clear Love coming around the sides, gets spotted out by a ward. He might go in for the lane gank, though, turning around, giving them a false sense of security for the time being. But the golems look more attractive. Even so, Name has been able to out-farm SMLZ, and when you're a Tristana against a Lucian, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. We talk about how World Elite Academy should have full control of this lane, and unfortunately it hasn't panned out for them. And they have a very small window. Yeah.
Yeah, that does not bode extremely well, and neither does Yuji missing on a couple of hooks, too. He hasn't been able to connect yet, but that's mostly due to Name's incredibly good positioning. He is utilizing the creeps like a pro, which I guess would make sense because he is one.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah, the more
Sorry.
you know.
That was a bad joke.
Every day. I forgive you. It's okay. Mickey now looking to make a roam trip down bot. He wants to make something happen in this lane. It's going to be FCZF getting caught up. They realize Xerath is there, moving away, and they dodge away. Man, I can never avoid those Xerath abilities. These guys are just on such a level of mechanical proficiency. Seeing that coming a mile away, they back off. Name, FCZF continue to be untouched despite many visits from the enemy.
I believe in the most recent patch, 4.13, Xerath is actually disabled due to a bug. Now, the issue is that there were really no changes to happen to Xerath, and I'm wondering if Riot just discovered the bug late and it already exists, and the ban is implemented, or if it was actually created in the 4.13 patch. But the bug is, and it's actually good for Xerath players. It's not anything bad like that. Although, hold up a second.
Oh, wow. We'll talk about the top. Koro double flashes. Koro's going to get the kill, and he stays alive thanks to his ultimate. Comes in handy. Mundo takes care of business.
But the bug for Xerath is he effectively gets an extra shot off on his ult. He gets vision before he gets to proc the shots, which makes it much easier to land. So we'll be paying attention for that to see if it exists.
As he comes on back, well, they dodge away from it nonetheless. Yeah, they are just fancy feet stepping away every single time he comes up. And now he's giving up farm in the mid lane to you, who had a bit of a rough time early on against him, but now has nothing to worry about. He's got to be so careful, and he has to make these trips down bot lane pay. You know, it's rough when you take a vacation and you just can't come up with funds.
I've never heard of the bot lane trips being considered a vacation, but you are correct.
They are for Xerath.
He's losing out on the lead that Soas helped build for him, and it needs to transition into something. Otherwise, he's going to give that up to you.
Yep. Uh-oh. Hello. Soas getting jumped on. Clear Love says thank you very much. Take your double buffs away from you now. SMLZ, gotta be careful not to go too low. Koro and Khan dueling it out. Suddenly, the switch is flipped, and EDG decides now is the time for aggression. They look for the dive on bot. Yujie has nowhere to go. Can he get out of this one? Can he get the lockup? I don't think so. Teleport's coming in from Khan. Too little, too late, and he cancels it. No, he doesn't. He comes back in. You getting chased out. Xerath's gonna ult you away, and you might not have too many places to go, but he will be able to sustain out through it. No flash necessary. Mickey looking to try and polish off the kill. He's just kiting out. They should be able to do something about this, but they don't. And you goes down a 1-for-1 trade, but it cost a lot of resources from both teams, really. Now Koro able to free push in this top side. He's putting in overtime.
More importantly, though, was the transfer of the blue buff, I think, especially into that top lane. Big thing also, you talked about the aggression, EDG flipping that switch. It is by no coincidence that that flip gets switched instantaneously as Clearlove gets his ultimate. The fact that he's on Rengar, he likes to farm, he only comes out when he has the ultimate available, and then he immediately goes and finds the enemy jungler and just pops them like a balloon. Yeah. So a lot of forethought there from EDG.
Well, and he wanted a couple double buffs as well, so everything will reset to a semblance of normalcy. EDG definitely on the up and up, but Academy has been able to make a couple of kills for themselves as well. However, so far only Mickey has been able to come up with, well, Mickey and Khan have been able to come up with one. And not exactly who you need it on. They need SMLZ to start stepping up here. Name, he's stepping back as he tries to be very careful not to get hooked on a line. There is Soist waiting in the wings. And even if he doesn't know that, definitely trying to play it out safe while his support is not at home.
I believe that's a Morello's rush from Gragas in the top lane to counter Mundo.
Is that build? Yeah, that builds from the new Aether Wisp as well.
That's clever. Gets the CDR, gets the Grievous Wounds.
Yeah, should help out, actually, to deal with Koro, who he just hasn't been able to really push too much against. I mean, after that level 1, that's just frankly embarrassing. And now he should be able to stand toe-to-toe, but, you know, that ult really gives Mundo an entirely second life on all this. And now EDG motioning with Sneaky Dragon, see if they can pull it off. Name try and tiptoe around the sides. Can he do it? I think they have to know this is happening, but they don't have the reaction time to pull it off. So it's not in the area, and they give that one up. First Dragon of the game. A bit late for the Chinese scene, going over to Edward Gaming.
Look at the warding from Ward Elite Academy. One of their wards is actually blocked underneath a blue ward, but they effectively have the Tri warded, the River Brush warded, and then a pink ward behind the tower. 0 wards on the Dragon.
Compare that to several pink wards for EDG. Yeah, you look at the map.
Every single bush.
Well, that bot side jungle, I mean, it's completely lit up at this point. Yeah, Edward Gaming plays the vision game a lot better, and you see this. The top Chinese teams for a long time, all the Chinese teams for a long time, did not ward very effectively. That's changing, but it seems to only be changing at the highest level. Academy still playing like classic China, old China, not really playing the vision game, just trying to brawl it out.
Definitely. There's also a big difference in China between vision and vision denial. The fact of how they utilize their pink wards and their sweepers versus the rest of the wards. But hold on a second, because Clearlove, now in the bot.
Yep, they're looking for a pick here. SMLZ gets locked up on the bullet, flashing away. Buster shot, not going to be enough damage, or is it? They go forward, Name gets the kill, and now they're jumping onto Yujie in tower range. Name tanking all the aggro. Yu comes to the rescue and manages to clean that kill, give the man a mop. 4-man bot side results in 2 pickups for Edward Gaming, and they can now freely push on this tower.
And this was the brilliance of when we saw the Zillion pick come out and the strength of Lulu mid and how it actually works in China. You have to understand, Chinese teams, the reason why Skarner, Jarvan, Zilean, Lulu, why it works so well in their meta is because they love to dive. They love diving towers. And Lulu mid in particular versus Lulu top, because of that roam potential, the fact that they have the coordination, hey, we have Lulu, we have something like a Wild Growth, hey, we have Zilean, we have something like a Chrono Shift, we can use this to dive. And we're going to do it as much and as effectively as possible. Obviously, the Wild Growth wasn't used that time around, but that's why Yu is making those plays.
Yep, now Clear Love getting found out by Soas. Getting a little bit of help from Mickey right now. He might go down here. Looks like it's just a matter of time, and he does. Yu looking to answer on back. Can he put the damage out fast enough? Soas going forward. He'll be in pop. Yu is actually going to use his Wild Growth, and Koro trying to make something happen around the side. He gets the save, though. Soas staying alive. Mickey now in the picture. Can he get the kill off? I don't think so. Yu is going to stay safe around the side. It's Mickey going down instead. Koro making the big plays. Khan now trying to run away from this one. Name, he should be able to secure this one up. It's another kill over to Koro. 1. And he gets himself 2 kills, actually, in that. So 1+1. Koro getting locked up on the hook. They want to keep engaging, though. This is a tanky front line that Name is sitting behind. And the Siege setting their sights on the mid tower. SMLZ and UJ there to try and block it out. However, the Coling is only going to be able to clear so much. And Name walks away from it. Rocket jumps out.
Very nice clear on that Coling from SMLZ, pretty much saved his tower, which means that fight, though it went heavily in favor of EDG, doesn't translate as much terror toward Elite Academy as it could have, although the push will surely continue here. Hopefully they can get back to position to defend it. Again, Yu coming up huge with the fancy footwork. The fact that he didn't die right there. I feel like that guy is constantly at 10 HP and manages to whimsy or distortion away, dissonance away.
Something like that.
He speeds away. He's Zoom.
Well,
race car.
What does Lulu say? Like broom broom or something? Yeah, those emotes are always incredible. Something about purple. I don't know. It's late. What are you gonna do? Mickey gonna get himself a blue buff. Soist is already got one. Thank you very much. You gonna spend his time clearing a few wards up. But so far, EDG definitely controlling the pace of this one, and Khan is not really able to make much happen on Koro in the top lane, despite his extra move speed. He doesn't have boots yet, so he's just relying entirely on that Lich Bane to really get around. And the magic resist on Mundo right now, I mean, this is perfect just because he wants to build a Spirit Visage first. I mean, this is Mundo's thing.
Does the, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't looked at the Lich Bane ingredients in quite a while. Does that essence build into Lich Bane now? Okay,
yes,
so it wasn't a Morello's.
No, but it's okay. I think this makes a little more sense just because he wants to try and sustain it out. So it's almost like not full AP Gragas, but he probably will kind of go full AP Gragas. I don't know. If that made any sense whatsoever. Anyways, here comes Soas looking to make something happen around the side. FCZF is there to body block it out. But I don't know why they'd be spending so much time on Mundo. And whoa, Mickey! That in the blink of an eye. He goes down. Wild Growth keeping Clear Love really big for the time being. Colin going to come out to clear waves, but they don't even care about that. FCZF going to block it up as the tower gets pushed on in the middle. So far, so good as they do manage to save it, however. But they lose Mickey in the process, who just hasn't had a whole lot of luck in this so far.
See if they can find the C tier. Obviously, the Coling not available for wave clear this time around. And without that Gragas stuck up in the top lane, they don't really have anything else to fall back on. Should be easy pickings for EDG here.
They might go and stick around for this turret. Name sticks around a little longer than he might have wanted to. Double tap going to come and chew a bit out of his health bar, but he stays alive. Dragon up in 35 seconds. Everybody on EDG backing, however. This might open up a very brief window for Academy to get back into this game, but they need to act fast.
Time is really kind of closing. You think that Lucian needed to win his lane. He needs to be ahead, especially as the mid game. Again, this is 4.11, so this is not the changed Lucian. This is the old Lucian, the mid game power spike Trinity Force Lucian, who is now rushing an eye edge currently, even though he's behind. It makes sense because he's against Tristana.
Yeah, he's up against Name. He should be building the Ghostblade build. This is maximum disrespect.
The thought here is that I'm against a hypercarry late game, so I need to build for late game as opposed for that mid game power spike, even though...
That's why you're the color commentator. I wouldn't have thought of that.
It's totally fine.
Uh-oh. Whoa, you nearly gets caught up. It's just a poke fest here. Ward War or battle, rather, being won by EDG, and they're just going to muscle their way forward. Teleport coming in for Khan. This is going to be a 5-on-5 in just a minute. Clearlove gets evaporated in all of that, so is staying alive. Name around the side, too. He has to actually flash away. This is actually looking bad for Edward Gaming right now as they push on forward, but they managed to answer onto Khan. No tower to fall back to. It's you going down. So is turning around FCZF. Not quite in the picture, and Name gets himself a kill. They answer it back on up again. SMLZ. Mickey going to fall now, and that is going to be the ace. Pick up by Name, staying alive just barely. Hard fought, and they earn themselves the spoils of war. One dragon, please.
And this is what I was talking about, kind of the coherence, or I should say lack of coherence between World Elite Academy's composition at the beginning during Champ Select. It's pretty scattered. You saw, you know, so many ults were going on at different times, nothing really got stacked together. The fact that you had Mickey God on Xerath, he was on one side of the wall, you have SMLZ, Lucian on the other side. It's very much kind of focused on that poke, but they don't ever really set themselves up to lay the groundwork for that. In the full 5v5 the engagement, they have no tools as far as disengage other than the Gragas cast.
And we get to see the replay. You can see it's really strange. Clearlove goes down
They use
so quickly.
a nice choke point. I will say that. Usually had a really nice box as they try to funnel everything in, and Mickey's standing to the side. Mickey's completely at this point, though, so again, the resources just aren't available for him to start putting out that ridiculous amount of damage. Name, again, the fact that EDG, okay, so just like look at these team fights as far as shapes. The fact that World Elite Academy is like a spread out star, and there's really nothing in the center, and EDG is effectively maintaining like a bulldozer rock shape and just punching through World Elite Academy and exploding outwards is kind of the best example of what just happened right there.
Those are
so
some violent
consistent.
metaphors, Frosk.
They're just like an arrow. They just pierce through teams and just eliminate them one at a time. The focus is unreal from EDG. You cannot fight a team of this caliber in a straight 5v5 if you don't have the mechanics and you don't have the composition for it.
Well, you does. I don't know about World Elite Academy, however, as they are having a little bit of trouble. And like an arrow, time is flying and running out for this team as the red buff gets contested. They can't even control their own jungle at this point. However, they still have a number of towers, really a low number of towers taken for about 20 minutes in. But that is about to change as the three-man push squad goes towards the mid. They're going for a 3-1-1 split, and they're trusting that Name can get in and out wherever he needs to.
They're able to do this at this point as opposed to the 5v5 because I feel like they'll win the skirmish and the 5v5 no matter what, so might as well apply as much map pressure, see if you can out-rotate. They have a bit more mobility.
Xerath using
that was
ult
close.
to try and take blue buff, yeah. That's when you know you're getting a little desperate.
But with the whimsy, a bit more mobility to get around the map, make plays happen.
Yep.
Speaking of plays.
Speaking of mobility, Clearlove goes all the way in on Mickey. Bola is not going to quite pick him up, but you nearly finishes the job. Even so, they managed to at least scare the pants off of him. Is Xerath wore pants? I don't think he was. I don't think they were invented by the time he was around. Isn't he like thousands of years old or something?
I think.
Well, FCZF getting hooked up, getting locked up. Wild Growth keeping him alive for the time being. That is one tanky Braum. And he says, all right, I'll Glacial Fissure you. You want to fight me in the cage? So it says, no thank you, sir. He runs away from this one, and the Ignite takes his health bar down. Yuji trying to stay alive. They are so tanky. Edward Gaming marching on through despite the engagement that they didn't want to take. Now they have an answer. Almost get themselves a kill onto the World Elite Academy jungler. And once again, they're back in the action.
FCZF got out with practically a sliver of health. That was under 100. And then effectively you have split push Tristana in the top lane. The fact that Name is 5-0-5 right now with his eye edge, almost a Shiv complete. He can pretty much duel anyone on the side of World Elite Academy. They'd have to commit more than one resource to deal with the AD carry, which would give the numbers advantage for the EDG underneath to make any play that they wanted. Didn't happen right there, but that's effectively what they're trying for.
Well, it's a really cool way to run their comp, too. This is like classic style for like some older teams. Like you might look at like Season 2 kind of stuff where they're going for these hyper carries like Trist, and then they're just letting them get so big and be able to split push, trusting that they can get out of situations. This is the kind of thing CLG used to do back in the day.
I love CLG.
They're in
I
Korea
feel like
right now.
that's the only statement that I can make. I really do like that team.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them too as well. Hoping they do pretty well at Worlds and see how their boot camp goes going forward. I like their sub-team, though.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Shot and
Bastard
Friends,
CLG.
I think that's what Reddit called it.
Oh, yeah.
Or Bizarro CLG.
I feel like we're watching Bizarro World Elite Academy.
Well, I think
To
it's the
be
same
fair,
as regular
it's-
World Elite Academy.
It's
Bizarro
almost
World
the
Elite.
same because this is such a Hail Mary on their roster. If for any of those who are new to World Elite Academy, effectively probably 2 weeks ago, they decided to completely revamp the roster. Yes, they brought in Koreans kind of at the start of the split, but they've the World Elite Academy that people hype up that they thought was so amazing and so awesome that, you know, put World Elite in its place, put OMG in its place as far as the G League was concerned. The only remaining members are effectively Soest and SMLZ.
Yeah, they've
Yep,
had
that's
quite
it.
a lot of shakeups. And part of that's the Koreans that they've brought in, of course, Khan and Mickey as well. And they've swapped around a lot of positions. Mickey was jungling for a little bit, as you mentioned earlier. And now they brought Soas back to this one. And speaking of Soas, leading the charge. Can he go in? No, he doesn't want to take that. FCZF in the front. Gets hooked up. This might be EDG going on forward. Glacial Fissure going to connect. Teleport coming in. And that is going to be Khan actually just bailing away. And again, Academy just afraid to take these fights, and rightly so. They're down so much gold that Edward Gaming is just pushing mercilessly forward, and they're forcing backs everywhere they go. Koro, not done with it yet. Throws the briefcase at him, keeping on the aggression and just scaring Academy every chance he gets. SMLZ in the front, and that's not what you want.
They have a poke competition, and they've yet to lay the groundwork for a poke team fight. Obviously, you know, it's get a few skill shots off, get someone low health, and then engage. They don't have any tools for disengage, which is a big problem. You know, they don't have, like, a Name or something like that. They have, effectively, the box, which Thresh has the versatility to be a hard engage and to be a disengage. You have Cask, but if you're using your Cask to simply run away, you're probably in a bad place.
Yeah, it was a little bit odd. I think you probably should have just canceled the teleport. Not to mention, Yujie went down and all that. EDG loses nothing by just doing this aggressive play
Over and
style
over and over again.
over and over and over. And it just keeps working. Because if they get nothing, that's fine. They didn't lose anything. If they get something, there we go. Name just picks himself up a tower. They got themselves a kill on that last one. Baron could be rushed, but there's such a spread here from EDG that it's not really practical for them to even try. You around the side. Koro just making a push-up, and they're letting Tristana free push. Name is 5-0-6. Nobody wants to 1v1 this Trist, and it's just getting worse and worse. Academy is letting themselves get slowly but surely shoved in.
And talk about the relevance of World Elite Academy's composition and its power spike compared to EDG's. Very small window that they, and like you said, EDG, there's no pressure to act quickly. They can do exactly what they want because time is on their side. They're going to simply outscale World Elite Academy.
FCZF making sure that that Baron Pit clean of wards, wants to keep it nice and happy for when they eventually take that down. Don't even need it, though, at this point, as they just continue to push on forward. Whoa, Academy trying to answer back on. I thought they might be starting it for a second. Heart skipped a beat.
No, Academy, it's too soon.
It's too soon. Don't go there. It's not the answer. Yeah, Koro going to be able to clear wards out as well, so this will commence for a little while.
It's going to be the next answer for EDG, though, not necessarily because they believe that they need it to win the game, but they are using it as a tool right now to force World Elite Academy to fight them. I think they're tired. Yeah, they realize that, you know, the only last standing second-tier tower is going to be that top tier. Again, we talk about how difficult it is to break the inhibitor line, how much they've committed their gold to these pink wards to secure the vision. Here they go.
Yep, Deathbrush engage. Clearlove going to get the engage on early, though. They get the pop-up with the Wild Growth, and that's going to be Buster shot number 1, taking down Soas. Around the side, Colin going to land, but it's not doing enough damage. Man, Koro is tanky. Still going on the way, and that is going to be right of the Arcane, pushing them all backward. Mickey trying for the desperate last stand. SMLZ popping his heel, but he goes down to Koro all the same. This is getting to be disaster mode for Academy as they are under tower, trying to stay alive. Everyone from EDG pushing around the side. You finally falls down, but they answer right on back. Resets with the kills. Mickey goes down. Name goes down. Staying alive. Two members of EDG, but they get themselves the ace. No Baron available just yet. Or rather, it's not really contestable just yet, but they may want to try their luck in a minute. That was pretty crazy around the side there, and if Name had lived, that'd probably be GG.
It looks so good for EDG for a second there. Will give major props to Mickey God. He found the snipe on you over the side amidst all that chaos. He found that Lulu made sure to take him all the way out. Other big kind of mechanical misstep is, I'm sure we'll see the replay, Name. Is that Vasily? Tanked that tower for far too long and did not need to. He could have actually jumped farther, but he used his jump to do damage as opposed to clear the tower aggro, which effectively killed him. So.
Yeah, you
just
can see
misplayed it.
I think they should have gone forward instead of back. Koro tanked up a lot, flashed over, and ended up taking out SMLZ, and that's fine. But they just backed off, and then at this point, they could have probably just backed away and gotten the 2 kills for free. But they're very, very aggressive playstyle, trying to push their advantage as far as they can. Nice snipe on you. That was well played. And then Name comes in, gets himself a kill, takes Mickey down, but then he just evaporates because Khan managed to finish him up. And yeah, that was a little bit sloppy, but they can afford to make mistakes like that because they answered with the full ace.
Just the arrogance of Name to try to get the damage off the hop as opposed to the utilizing the reset for safety was pretty funny. I think it was pretty classic Name.
It's justified at this point. He just that was his first kill of the game, and they're going first death of the game rather, going farther forward. Clear Love. Okay, I'll switch targets. SMLZ looks pretty juicy right now. He's going to go down. Without too much trouble, the wild growth was available to keep him a little bit more sustained. Mickey falls down. He's looking like an assassin as Name jumps in. Barrel's going to land, but it doesn't knock Name back far enough. He will be going down, gets flayed up for just a second, but this is going to be not the ace, but very close to it. So is trying to lead him on a wild goose chase away from the towers. Can he get away? No, he cannot. Help Picks coming up big for the ace play. They should be able to answer with the turret and then some. 16 seconds until SMLZ comes off the table. This is going to be absolutely disastrous. EDG marching forward with 4 members. Yeah, Nami goes a little bit too ham. Hero mode engage. He's still got quite the KDA this game, and this is going to be inhibitor number 1 in favor of EDG.
See if they can get this quickly. And I remember the recent Rengar changes mean that Rengar can't murder through towers and inhibitors as he once could. He's not able to proc his Q on them anymore. Still managed to take that down relatively quickly, but he didn't two-shot it.
I think he decided a really good idea right now would be a Medjai Soul Stealer.
You know what? You have no chance of making the playoffs. You're pretty much guaranteed relegation.
There's your experiment.
Why not?
Why not, right? I mean, he's got 2 kills. It's cool. He's got a few stacks. He could always get fed.
And technically, it makes sense on Xerath because out of all of the champions who you think would qualify for a Soul Stealer, it would be Xerath because he's so long range that there's no real... You think about the risk versus reward of keeping the stacks.
Yeah. I mean, he's
it
like
is
in the least
a
danger.
strategical, viable standard. Unless Name gets a hold of him.
Yeah. So much for being safe. Buster shot. Oh, he stays alive. The heal. Oh, man. Yeah, it's harder than you think sometimes, isn't it?
UJ for MVP. Oh, wait, that was his own heal. Never mind.
UJ tried to help. Now, this could easily be a free Baron because there's no way they can contest this. They had to send Mickey back here. They're pinging for it. It might be a desperate attempt, but Name is ready to intercept if they go for it. It's going down so fast. Not even got a chance. This really isn't fair. And look, Name just jumps right back in. This Baron's going down for free.
Address Name's positioning. So obviously hitting Baron over the wall, that's the only champions that can really do that. Kog'Maw when he presses his W, Caitlyn and Tristana at a certain level. A lot of people kind of assume that it takes Tristana to like level 18 to get the range that Caitlyn has. You can clearly see that is where Caitlyn stands to do Baron. Tristana level 15 just pumping out the damage right there. Do not be mistaken. It does not require level 18 Tristana to become that terrifying powerhouse. 8, 2, and 12.
This level of terrifying is definitely something that Name is able to get going. And, well, they go on forward. Forget the tower. We got Khan as he goes down with the boom. Barrel coming out big. However, not enough to take anyone down. FCZF taking up a lot of damage. Staying alive, though. Wild Growth coming in big. SMLZ getting melted right now. So is going to follow him back to Fountain. And that is everybody from World Elite Academy just starting to go down. Mickey following up. UJ just going to run back. He can get almost nowhere. And he's going to go down. That's the ace. Fountain dive. Going to be GG. And a 2-0 for Edward Gaming. Coming up huge. World Elite Academy once again continuing their slide. And this is something that they will have to watch very carefully when they end up in those relegation matches. EDG coming up big to secure themselves 3 circuit points on the day.
technically EDG was considered to be in a slump. Obviously, their poor showing against Young Glory, although Young Glory on the up and up. With this, we'll see if they can maybe get back on top again. We're tied for second with this 2-0. It puts them firmly into that second spot. Kicks, I believe they're shared with it with World Elite, yes? Kicks World Elite down.
Yep, clearly into third now.
Ties them closer to OMG, but the big thing on play right now is with Invictus Gaming not really close to that 4-seeded spot for playoffs, EDG will most likely go to playoffs. If they take first at the summer split, they are instantly guaranteed a spot at Worlds for China because they took first at the spring split.
Well, plenty of chances more to prove that along the way, of course. You can see the next match is coming up for tomorrow night. You saw OMG taking on Starhorn World Club and Invictus Gaming up against World Elite. You will see that at the same time, 1600 China time, 1 a.m. on the Pacific Coast, and of course on the Eastern Seaboard it is going to be 4 a.m. So please check back in about 24 hours, about 18 or 19 or 20. I can't math anymore, guys. We're done for today, so that is GG well played. You've been watching the LPL in English. I'm PiraTechnics. She is Froskurinn. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and from all of us here at Esports Heaven and Games in Asia, we are wishing you a wonderful evening or morning wherever you are. We'll see you next time. Big risk right now for him to go for, though, just because going into a Braum is a little bit rough. High risk, high reward kind of champion. Would have a better laning phase. I think he wants to settle for a happy medium ground right now, especially with Yuji going to get to rock the Thresh. So the White Steel lane comes out.
And of course, since Maokai was not taken off the board, it is going to be that Gragas top. Expect to see that in the top lane. See what they pick up for the jungle, though.
Probably the Rengar. They've been teasing it all champs. Like, ooh, last second switch over, Dr. Mundo. I like this for Koro a lot better, actually.
I don't think it synergizes as well with his playstyle that what Maokai was able to do, but it's definitely that same style of champion. Mundo is typically the direct counter to Gragas simply because he's able to rush the Spirit Visage against Gragas due to the AP damage, and how well that synergizes with Mundo's regen passive on his ultimate, so big bonus there.
Looking to answer in the mid lane right now, Mickey. Really thinking hard about this Xerath pickup. See if he does go with it. Looks like he locks it in, yeah. We've been seeing that more and more. See if Mickey has any better luck with a heavy kiting champion. He should have a better laning phase at any rate.
I feel like this is a poor assembly of a team composition from World League Academy. Typically, when you pick up Xerath, and I know I've told you this countless times, Pyra, it's an over-the-top composition. And what you're doing is you're utilizing the range on Xerath's ultimate, typically in conjunction with Ezreal or Kog'Maw ultimate, and then, you know, like a Rengar or a Jax. And what you do is you poke, but you immediately get to that back line and just eliminate those champions back there.
Into their first picks.
I have a feeling it's going to be Lulu, and second round pick is going to bring that Maokai.
If they lock the Gragas, it's pretty likely. Didn't seem to be too much trouble for Korra to deal with that last time.
He had Mickey pretty much on him that entire game, though. As far as anyone effectively being shut down on EDG, Korra was definitely slowed up with the 3v1 about 4 times in that top lane.
So is on Rengar. Maybe he'll have a bit better luck than last time. He didn't play particularly bad. I mean, he's definitely a big part of the team, and he goes back to Jarvan last second.
Which is curious because Soas is known as a Lee Sin player, you know, having those hyper-aggressive junglers, things like Rengar, like Kha'Zix, like Lee. And the fact that he keeps going back to kind of this utility-based, supportive style. Not that Jarvan can't be the hard carry, and he offers some fantastic things for his team, but you have to think, you're bringing a Cataclysm with a cask displacement. If you mess up the stacking of those ultimates, you effectively render Jarvan's ult completely worthless.
Yeah, it's a touchy thing. And you know who we forgot about? Braum. He's lit and left open right now. FCZF might be eyeballing him. And of course, they're thinking about if they want to go for their jungler. Instead, they go for the AD carry Tristana now in Name's hands.
Of course, since Kog'Maw's taken off the board, take the next hyper carry down. For him, that's going to be Trist. See if SMLZ, it looks like he's looking at Lucian, but I feel that he should look for more of a hyper-based carry towards Jinx, although he does favor more of this AD caster style. He is a big Draven player, big Lucian player.
Oh yeah, always love seeing that one to go back into the last game of the night as we get into this one. World Elite Academy taking on EDG. They fell out without anything really in that first game. See if they can maybe come back for something a little bit better. And we got to see the debut officially of top lane Maokai in China. Froskurinn, what do you think going to come out of game number 2?
I think it's going to be even worse than it was the first game. EDG have kind of a track record of kind of like OMG. They win the first game and then they win the second game even harder.
With a season full of splits, 1-1, it's certainly a different kind of thing, and it's probably what has separated EDG and OMG at the top of the pack right now. You look at the standings, the way that they're laid out, and these are a little bit outdated since, of course, we've had a couple games tonight. But OMG and Ever Gaming pretty up there in the lead, and with one win at least, EDG has leapfrogged from the second place tie with World Elite. So now they're sitting at 18 points. They have a chance to claim another 2 with another victory, and that would separate them even farther out, get them closer to OMG as well. So that's certainly something they'll be going for.
Effectively, World Elite kind of shot themselves in the foot with their last weekend 3-game stretch. Because there's really nothing to follow that up. You do have decent dive potential from someone like Jarvan to the backline. Gragas can, possibly get back there, but again, that's with a displacement as his longest range ability. And you don't have the assassination potential of that. So yeah. I feel like the Xerath pick is a bit out of whack. It's very much more a stylistic choice of a poke comp, kind of like what Nidalee and Jace would be doing for a team, because they're also bringing the Lucian and the barrel poke. We'll see if it works out for them, but I think it's a little curious.
Yeah, I feel like they could have gone... They went for something that's more in vogue in the flavor, rather than something that they could have done on a more comfort level. If Khan had gone back to, like, Aurelia, say, the backline dive would have been a little bit better. They could have gone for the Jinx pickup on the AD carry, and that would have meshed a lot better with that type of composition. So I agree with you. That would have been a lot better of a choice. We'll see, however, how this does. I try to combine way too many words when I talk. And World Elite Academy, hopefully they'll be able to grab something out of this, but they're up for a tough fight for it. And this game, not going to be the easiest for them to deal with. But here we are, loading onto the Rift right now. Final game of the night. World Elite Academy takes on Edward Gaming. See who prevails here. Will it be EDG, the boys in blue, as they are on the bot left side. World Elite Academy in the red trunks. And they're coming out of the gate swinging.
I'm trying to think mathematically if it's possible for World Elite Academy to make playoffs. We're in week 8. I believe that there's 10 weeks of LPL.
10.
So many points were up back to back to back. They will never get another opportunity to make those points up, and now is the time. We talked about it last week, how there was zero excuse for World Elite to not be in first place with the amount of games that they were taking to the plate. It's now just an issue of if they can hold on to their 4th place spot, which, because Invictus Gaming and LGD split, should be relatively safe.
Yeah, for the time being, it certainly is. We'll see if it is definitely the case going forward. But right now, we're focused not on World Elite, but it's Academy team. See if they can grab themselves a win here. Definitely do or die time. They need to get something going. It's just looking worse and worse for them. And as we get ready to go into the next game, where do they go from here? What do they ban out? You already see Zed Nari off the table on EDG side, but Academy just banning Kassadin, nothing particular right now.
I think the Ziggs ban should come out.
Oh, you called it.
You can't let you have that champion.
No, although he did pretty well in Orianna anyways, and you just can't ban the guy out at that point. Kog'Maw taken away from Name, that's probably a safe bet, but he does play a lot of things extremely well anyways. It's not just the Cog.
It leaves the Maokai top open as well as the Gragas.
And
Lulu also on the board. Fun fact, Rammus is called the dragon turtle in China.
Okay. I thought he was called Bowser.
Nope, the dragon turtle.
No, I got my information from a bad source apparently. They're just showing that they can just play around, have a good time. It's gonna be the Lulu lock-in since that was left on the table. Could be for you, could be for Koro. It's definitely a flexible pickup. Academy have to go blind.